What's going on, everybody? Respawn Gentleman here. So as you can see, there was a brand new update that was added to the game today. It's the 1.7.2 patch. Let's dive right in to see all the details that were added into the game. So first off, we're talking about Bloody Ties DLC. It's available on November 10th at midnight GMT time. So whatever that converts to for wherever you are in the world, that's when you'll have it. For me personally, I'm Central Time, so I'll actually get it November 9th at 6 p.m. But again, it just depends on where you are. November 10th, midnight GMT time is when the DLC does release. So a little bit of details about it. It says discover a new location, venture to Carnage Hall, the epicenter of splendor, death, fame, barbarity, fortune, and bloodshed. The place where the greatest fighters battle for glory. Experience a new narrative. So we're gonna have a new story, which they kind of talked about a little bit and showed in their most recent trailer. It says behold the Carnage Manica. This is that kind of shield thing that you'll get potentially, and then fight the freaks, and talks about the freaks of nature like the gorilla demolisher, these fire spewing inferno, and many others. I do have a video kind of talking about those a little bit on my channel, but I'm excited for the DLC. I can't wait to jump into it and share it with everybody. I will be covering it with as many details as possible. This other one is absolutely huge. People have been asking this forever. It says X-Ray First Phase. The all-time loved feature from Dying Light is back. X-Ray is available and will make your gameplay more memorable. Please keep in mind that this is the first phase of this feature, and we will work on it in the future to make iconic Dying Light 2 stay human. So here's the thing about the X-Ray so far. I've done some testing. I have not gotten it to happen for me personally. I don't know exactly what's going to cause it to work, because one-shotting enemies doesn't seem to do it, and I don't know if enemies that are tougher will actually have X-rays. I'll have to kind of do more testing on that. But if you see X-rays in the game now, definitely let me know in the comments below how you got it, because that's super, super awesome. So now we have a whole bunch of the gameplay updates. So let's kind of look at this. We have to have multiple quality of life changes and things like that. So let's dive in here. So I'm not going to cover everything that's in this list. I will have a link to this down in the description below, because there's a ton to go over. But first off, we're going to go over these first four here. We got the nights in the city got darker, so we're going to have nighttime being darker, which is something a lot of people were requesting. So that has been implemented. Now throwable items have a trajectory. You could see that with some, like the DIY grenade, but not with all of them. So I think all of them might actually have that now, which is really cool. This one's actually a big one. Players can now run in the PK ship hub. That was extremely annoying, being forced to walk extremely slowly. It just slowed things down tremendously, because it's a big area to get through. So now you can run there, and you can actually preview the outfits before you put them on, which is really, really cool. They also talk about here where achievements weren't being granted to players upon completion. So if there's any achievements out there that you haven't collected, hopefully that they'll pop now. Please let me know in the comments below if that actually works now. Speaking of achievements, the collectibles from Chapter 2 that were introduced are not actually going to be included in the initial achievements, so you only need to find the original collectibles, which is actually really big, because I know a lot of people were upset. They only had like maybe 1 or 2 collectibles left, and then they added like 70 more or something like that. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but this is something you don't have to worry about. If you're trying to get that achievement for the collectibles, you only need to focus on what was originally in the game. So another one they put on here, it says damage scaling for fists and drop kicks is fixed, no longer allowing players to box through the game easily. Maybe that means they nerfed drop kicks. I don't know, because drop kicks were ridiculously overpowered. I never used fists at all, so I can't really speak to that, but that is something they did change. So next I want to go over the co-op updates. I'll go over all 4 of these. There's only a few of them. It says users won't encounter a black screen while activating windmill when one of the players is respawning. Animation of grabbing the player by infected should no longer freeze. And you can now leave the game if the host dies during certain story quests, and fixed users' online ID disappearing during some activities in co-op. So if you experienced any of these during the co-op that you've been playing, these should be fixed now. And let's move on to the UI UX updates. So there's a lot of things in here that it kind of goes over. The one important one, I think, is this has been mentioned a lot, is this bottom one right here. It says fixed an issue with parkour music being stuck on one track indefinitely. That is something people have been complaining about for the longest time, because they just have not been able to hear other music. So going forward, parkour music should be changing every single time. Let me know in the comments below if that is the case for you. And then you can see here on the screen, they also fixed some random crashes and freezes in the game. So it should kind of help those from happening, especially on consoles, because I know PlayStation 4 has been having those way more than anyone else, it seems. So hopefully it won't crash as much anymore. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Dying Light content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.